In this crosstab, we're looking at number of sales together with the country dimension over here. Also, we have a user dimension that makes up these four members on top here. Now let's try to do a calculation upon the last two columns. We're looking at year to last month of 2018 and 19, and we would like to know what is the difference between those two columns. Here we have a number of predefined calculations, and if we try this one called the difference calculation, it has actually been designed to look into the difference between the last two columns. But if we look close at the numbers here, we can see that in 2018 Canada was at a 58 number of sales, while in 2019 they were at 97, which is not a drop of 29 but actually an increase of 29. In this case, it's actually a matter of my user dimension members not being in the correct order. So if I go to my user dimension to edit it, I can then change the order of, let's say, the first two members like this, and also change the order of the last two members like this. And now the user dimension members go into the crosstab in the correct chronological order, which has the desired effect on my difference calculation, as you can see. Let's have a look at some of the other predefined calculation options. So let's just remove the difference calculation here, and let's try out the growth percent. It's actually the same as the difference calculation, but it simply expresses the difference as a percentage increase or decrease, as you see here. Let's try out the average calculation, this one. When I add it, it goes in as a calculated column, as an average of the four user dimension members, which really doesn't make sense here. So in this case, I'll go back to the calculation and move it to the other axis. And then it goes in as a calculated row here, which makes a lot more sense to see the average for each of my four periods. Let's remove the average again. And now let's look at a different option, the advanced calculations options. When I click this option here, it will actually take the crosstab and put it into a small calculation editor. And in here you can right click to, for example, insert a new calculated column, this one here. Let's give it a proper name. What I actually want to do here is to calculate the difference between my last two columns, which is two columns with year to last month data. And over here where it says 0, I'll just delete that. And from now I can simply point and click a column, and when I do that, it puts in the reference for that column. I can then put a minus here from the keyboard. I want to subtract data from the next column, and that goes in as a reference there as well. And when I click OK over here, it actually does the calculation. Now let's try to add another calculated column here. So right click, insert column, and this is going to be the difference between the first two columns, which is two last month columns. So let's call it diff LM, last month. The 0 here, let's get rid of that. And again, point and click this column, minus from the keyboard, point and click the other column, and click OK, apply to that. So now we got those two calculated columns. When I click OK one more time, I go back to my analysis, and here I could, if I wanted to, drag and drop this column, the diff last month column, put it here where it actually fits with the other two last month columns.